Yes. The boys are back in town. Knock 'em out the box, episode 131. My name is Vinnie Paz. I'm here with my co-host with the co-most of Mr. Majestic Left, Right, Left Kid, Mr. Brendan Long.
131 and Zap. I'm here.
Oh, no doubt. Billy, do you like that little dance he does when I
Yeah,
introduce
he
him?
always gives a little shake.
It's like a weird, he does the Stevie Wonder.
I like it.
Is that what he's doing? The Stevie?
Yeah, I like it.
I'm getting my
He's doing the I just called this thing. Also with us, the third man in the ring.
third man in the ring. He is the referee of this show.
He is.
He's the dirty Danny Davis of this show.
Damn right he is.
I like that.
Billy Betts, aka Billy Bindlesticks, aka Irish William, Prince of South Jersey. How are you?
Billy
tonight?
Billions this weekend, boys.
Billy Billions. Are we letting it ride going into this weekend, Billy, or no?
Hell yeah.
Into other sports as well. He was at the horses.
I saw him drinking mint juleps.
Mint juleps with the horses.
So
Heckling Philadelphia Eagles players called the Eagles player a cuck.
I think he called.
Well, the other guys.
The other guys cucks.
Okay. All right. Understood.
He was the stud.
Right. But he was all in the guy's mitt because he knocked back a few.
What can you mention the casino you were at drinking mint juleps?
I don't think we should give anyone anything unless they pay us. What do you think about that?
That's right.
He was in Atlantic City.
Just in Atlantic City, bopping around.
Bopping around.
Were you doing a bit of bopping?
We did a little bopping, but it had
Just
nice
like
dinner for
my
wife's birthday coming up, and it was.
Was
nice.
there anything?
Happy birthday, Joe.
Happy birthday. Anything?
We love you.
Anything bad that you did? Anything, or just all good?
No, he behaved. I think
he was a good boy.
Loosely behaved.
Yeah, we're using that loosely.
Did you go home at the end of the night, or
slept out without the kids?
He didn't have the kids for the birthday bash for the birthday girl.
Interesting.
I wasn't up until 4 in the morning, like I was with you in Atlantic City. But
he was feeling froggy.
Me,
I can tell you that he was with this Ray known.
I'll tell you, you weren't with me. I was making connections, shaking hands, kissing babies.
It's true.
You were apparently playing ping pong.
That is true. That is true.
There's some validity to that.
I did not partake in ping pong.
I'll beat both of you in ping pong. I'll beat this Ray known in ping pong. I'll beat this brother-in-law of yours, Billy, in ping pong. Whoever wants it can get it. No Sean Combs.
I
like the upgrade of the No Diddy, by the way.
Thank you. I'm trying to expand, Bill. You know what I'm saying?
What about what was his one alias? Something like Love.
Oh yes, yeah. I like doing No Puff or No Puff. That's funny to our era, to me, right? Our age, but
No Puff is the best one.
No Puffy, yeah. All right, guys. So some previews for this upcoming weekend. A guy, hey, B took you out in a show earlier this week with saying the return of Leigh Wood and left out the Irish Paisan who he's fighting.
Oh,
this Anthony Cacace. 23-1, 8 KOs.
Hilarious.
Versus this Leigh Wood with the broccoli bouffant, 28-3, 17 KOs. This the zone on Saturday afternoon if you're where we're from. Normal time if you're in Europe.
Yeah.
I can't do the other ones. Billy, do we have any lines here? Anthony Cacace.
Yeah, you have to have.
Cacace is we're not joking about that. He's ethnically Italian and speaks like a leprechaun. It's the greatest thing ever. He's an Italian ethnically, but
he's from Belfast.
So B and I like him because of that, and we like him jokes aside because he's very good.
Yeah, he's an underdog.
Yes, he is. He can't punch, so it's already he's got that stat.
No, and he's really big and can't punch.
Right. This Leigh Wood. He's beloved over there.
Sure, he's like the English Arturo Gatti.
Yeah,
and he's from Nottinghamshire. I love that name.
Cacace is minus 185.
I didn't realize what his nickname is. Leigh Wood.
It's Leigh-Thal. That's not great.
Oh man, that's like the B rabbit of.
See this. That's where you need like homies like us. You know how you name the episodes, and I'm a
Yeah.
rapper, and like yo, my guy, I'm Leigh Wood, but I'm Leigh-Thal. I'd be like, no, abort.
Abort. You
No,
can't.
no. Lethal Leigh Wood. That's kind of
But it's
hot.
Leigh, like
Leigh.
Leigh
He spells
dash
it. Yeah.
so
No,
like
if he was just Lethal Leigh
Lethal
Wood,
Leigh Wood, that's hard.
that's hard. But he's
But don't try to
Leigh.
play on the Leigh.
No. Yeah.
When he's
Okay.
announced by Diamante, he's told to say Leigh-Thal Wood. Like, nah, man,
Yeah,
pack it up.
Nah, it should just be Lethal Leigh Wood.
So in 2020, Leigh Wood lost a majority, a very close fight. Could have gone either way to James Dickens, a guy from over there. Mauricio Lara packed him up in 2023. And I said to B, that's what this guy is. He proved me wrong. Comes back, beats Lara in a rematch, then beat Josh Warrington a couple years ago when he was still kind of pretty okay. Leigh Wood is good.
Had that fight in 2022 with Mick Conlan. Don't forget that one where they just beat their fucking balls off each other.
And wasn't that the fight, B, that started off this Mick Conlan's getting packed up? I don't know when or no.
Nah, bro. The Lost episodes, you said that. You said Mick Conlan.
No, but isn't that the one where it started to come to fruition? Is what I meant. The Leigh Wood fight. Or is that even still, is that Lost episode?
No,
what you're saying?
No. We started the show in 2021,
right?
And you made a claim that Mick Conlan is the most overrated fighter. Mick Conlan, Shakur Stevenson, are the two most overrated fighters in boxing. You redacted
out of the same Olympics, and I redacted Shakur pretty early on and said I stand on business with this Mick Conlan. He's getting packed up.
Yes, and at the time of that fight, I believe he was undefeated. And yeah, a year later,
he got sparked clean out 3 times in a row, I think.
Yeah.
Definitely 2, but I think
2 times in a row later, he came back and beat Miguel Mariaga and Kareem Gerfi. Okay. But anyway, you did call that, yes.
Okay. What do you see happening here, man? Anthony Cacace, Leigh Wood.
I've been so bad at picking these Cacace fights lately. Leigh-Thal. What is Cacace's moniker? Does he have one? The Apache. Okay. I don't know.
A Native American nickname. You're a
I tell you right now,
from Belfast.
If that was your high school mascot, you better change it, or you're not going to get federal funding.
Yeah, guys. We speaking about tall fighters, guys. He's a 5'10" super feather.
5'10".
Cacace.
Yep.
I think he boxes circles around Leigh Wood. I think it's almost a shutout. Billy.
Really? What are the odds on this?
It's close.
Cacace, it's minus 185 for Cacace, and it's 10.5 rounds.
I love that over.
Can I ask you a question?
Please.
How come BoxRec will give like the age for Cacace
and not the age for some other person? They got to get it together, bro. Shout to BoxRec. We use you a lot. You're funny style with ages.
With ages, with records, with rounds.
Don't hate us because we use your site all the time.
What the fuck's going on with you guys?
But tighten up.
Really makes it hard for me to do my show.
And Anthony Cacace puts on the performance of a lifetime. Lifetime in a clinic. There's an IBO belt at stake, guys. We've explained to our best ability what that means. Essentially nothing, but it can lead to a real one.
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely. These guys think of it as something because you can't tell a fighter my belt doesn't count. Look, it's a 12-rounder. Cacace is always in amazing shape. High-level boxer. He's tall, long, no Sean Combs. He's going to keep him at the end of his shots. Pepper him, turn him, pepper him, turn him. This fucking Leigh Wood's going to be frustrated as fuck trying to land one big shot. Cacace's got a beard on him.
I'm going Leigh Wood by knockout.
Wow.
In the 8th. Leigh-Thal is on a mission.
A hot Tony Taro, a hot. I like that.
I don't like the cut of your jib lately. All right.
Okay.
You've been disrespectful last episode. The 2 of you teamed up on me. All right.
So no puff.
Well, I didn't say you double team me.
Oh,
all right.
You know,
You didn't put you. I wasn't
you
a pig on.
teamed up on me a little bit.
I wasn't a pig on a spit over here.
A little bit Megs of Fanuc.
So I think Leigh Wood. I think Leigh Wood has the performance of a lifetime. I think Leigh Wood pulls a rabbit out of his hat.
This Cacace looks like fucking a prime sweet pea on Saturday.
Okay.
Moving on.
I think you're being crazy.
Same night, guys. Now, these is when I don't get mad about the day fights, when there's fights at the proper U.S. time. Billy, we got ESPN that you can watch. Lots of interesting stuff going on here. Let's go. So, Raymond Morataya, 22-0 with 17 knockouts versus Zaur Abdullayev, 20-1, 12 knockouts. Really interested to hear the odds and the over and under here, Billy, if they exist. I'm sure the odds do, but maybe not an over under. Morataya has been packing people up. I'm not sure about, does he have the goods long is the question here, because Zaur Abdullayev can fight.
I'm hoping to get it. Okay, so he is 28. Raymond Morataya.
He is.
Abdullayev is 31. Abdullayev lost to Devin Haney. Was it cuts he got stopped on?
It was a very weird stoppage. It looks like he was knocked out by Devin Haney. He was not, but it was called a TKO or a KO.
Okay.
It was wonky.
Yeah, they're ranked right around where they are. I mean, Morataya has been dying for.
He has
a big shot.
Yes.
This should be his path to that. If he wins, does he get Keyshawn Davis? Does he possibly get a returning Lomachenko if that happens? We've said Lomachenko won't come back unless
he will not come out unless it's a $10 million payday for Tank Davis.
Right. So Morataya, Abdullayev. Oof, this is a tough one to pick.
Billy?
Yeah, Morataya is -500.
Wow. No respect.
Vegas, look, oftentimes Vegas knows what they're doing. And let's be frank, Morataya is the promoter's fighter, so to speak. Okay?
Irish Billy. I ain't saying to do something, but I'm saying if there's a couple spare Clamorinos at what? He's -550?
Yeah.
-500.
I might throw $20, $50, $100.
Morataya did not look good against Tevin.
He did not.
Abdullayev.
I thought he lost that fight.
Okay.
I think this is a close decision win for Raymond Morataya in a good, close fight, but he gets the nod. But if I was a gambler, I'm not. I'd throw a little on.
I'd like to disagree with you, but I won't. That's how I see it happening.
I think Zaur Abdullayev is very good, and I think Raymond Morataya is good. So I think it's a good fight.
I feel like I'm on my phone this whole. What is Abdullayev's? All right, so he fought in October. All right, so he's been pretty active.
Yeah, he stayed pretty active.
Twice a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The main event, a guy we love on this show, Emanuel Navarrete, 39-2, 32 KOs versus a guy named Charley Suarez, who we don't know a lot about. 18-0, 10 KOs. When someone's undefeated, you look at their record, you go, I don't know much about these guys. You know, these are the guys we spoke of, B, where is it a Bruno Sirach where you show up and show out? Or does he just get pummeled? I lean towards the second one. I have to hear the odds in order to give Billy. I obviously have a pick, but
he's undefeated.
Yeah, 18-0, 10 KOs.
It's 36. Yes. Not a lot of fights for a guy who's 36.
Yes.
Navarrete -500, another -500.
Wow. This is way more lopsided of a fight, in my view, than the first one, and they're the same line.
Me too.
Is there an over-under?
I don't see any yet.
Okay, so you're gonna have to. That's another one, Bill, that you'll have to hit me with on day of to make your parlays. You know
How
what
do
I
they not
mean?
have the fucking? They don't have an over under or on the main event.
And B, take this into consideration. You know how lines can shift because of what comes in.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you have the over under? That's not going to shift.
No.
That would seem to come first.
That's fucking weird.
In my opinion. I wonder if I could find one.
Let me check another site as well.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and pick Navarrete by wide UD.
I'm picking Emanuel Navarrete in 9 or 10. He's drubbing him. The angles.
The awkwardness.
Yes, and you can't see where his punches are coming from.
No,
and
no one can.
That loss to Berenchek that was kind of recently. He moved up and it was close.
Yeah.
So don't harp on that, guys. If you are.
Yeah, he's also in like what is third weight class? Fourth weight class? Third weight class, right?
I think he went from 22 to 26 to 30 to
Back.
up to 35 where we said was too high.
Yeah.
I think he's good here. I think he stops him.
I'm saying it's going to go the distance.
Okay. I think he stops him late.
All right. What else we got?
So where I'm looking is no over under. I don't know if you guys have found them. I usually do when we do.
You couldn't find nothing, William?
No, sir.
All right. Well, sorry guys, we'd like to pick the rounds, but Vin, you're saying 9th?
9 or 10. 9 or 10. This is Saturday night, guys, 10 p.m. on ESPN. If Billy's got money on it, maybe he'll be watching it. Also,
well, I've been on my Billy Bindlestick's Instagram. I've been trying to post.
Yeah, you have. You're doing a good job. I've been reposting them.
Yeah, he fell asleep right before the Espinosa fight.
Billy did?
Brendo.
Oh, it was a day of watching the ponies and he couldn't hang?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Sunday. I need my rest.
Where did you fall asleep? What part of the
I watched the entire the first one I watched was what? I forget. Then you tell me.
The Rohan Polanco fight?
Yes.
Okay.
I had a all picking the over-unders parlay that hit 3 of them, just picking over-unders, picking the rounds.
Now, when you're there, do you tell everybody, like, look, I host a boxing podcast. I know what I'm talking about? Is that
to his children? To the kids?
Well, no, wasn't
to my wife who's like, why are you posting? Why are you betting money on
while we're
boxing?
Yeah,
put your phone away at the dinner table, please.
Right. He's acting like a real fucking.
He's all shaking. He's like,
disgrazia. Guys, we champion pro box on this show. As per usual, another guy who was, I believe, Erikson Lubin had a championship at one time, right? He certainly fought for the championship.
He fought for it. I don't know if he had one.
Erikson Lubin, 26-2, got sparked out by Charlo a long time ago and lost in a cracker to Sebastian Fundora. Dropped him in a back and forth fight. I repeat myself all the time on this show. Erikson Lubin was a prospect that I was so fucking high on, and he is yet to come through for me. 26-2, 18 KOs versus Ardriel Holmes, 17-0, 6 knockouts. I think Erikson Lubin packs him up in the second half of the fight.
I'm interested to see if Adriel Holmes, who has he's only got 6 KOs.
He can box a little bit, but he can't punch. And you worry is Lubin's and Chinny. I'm not worried against a guy that like this. Okay. So I think the shots that Lubin would typically adjust his style to be a bit more cautious.
Guy's undefeated.
I think he is. He can fight. I think he's gonna walk through those shots, or be a little bit more offensively reckless.
Reckless? Okay.
Not to the point where he gets chinned, Lubin. You know what I mean? But I think he's just gonna try to pack him up, and I think he's going to in the second half of the fight. Is see because when these fights are in um Japan, I don't know what day is the 11th.
Sunday.
So Sunday morning for us or Monday morning for us?
Let me look.
So it's like the morning of Mother's Day for people who are watching, and then you got to get up at 4 a.m., which
it's Mother's Day.
Correct.
Jesus Christ.
So you two better be on your best behavior. I'll tell you that much.
I'm always on my worst behavior.
That's a lie. Oh, that's the truth. That's the truth.
All right.
We don't know when it is yet, but it's the date is the 11th. Fernando Pumita Martinez, 17-0, 9 KOs. He's really good. Running it back with Kazuto Ioka, 31-3, 16 KOs. Let's not forget a very important thing here, Brendo. 36 years old at Bantam.
Okay.
This is
as I read this.
Yes.
It can't be right.
Okay.
Boxing Scene has it Sunday, May 11th, 2025, 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Does that mean midnight on Saturday night for us or midnight on Sunday night for us?
Midnight Saturday night.
Midnight Saturday night, right. Is that right?
That would put them fighting in very early morning. Would they do that for a U.S.?
I don't think so.
Without a U.S.
fighter on, yeah. Okay, so I don't know.
Yeah, guys, this is what we deal with. This is what we deal with. Fernando Pumita is really good. Kaz Ioka is really good. Was really good at 36 years old. Look, this is a rematch. Their last fight was against each other. Pumita won a unanimous decision. I don't see why it's not more of the same second time around, but maybe wider.
I'm with you. Usually that's how those things go. I think Pumita beats the hell out of him, actually. I don't think it's that close. I think it's going to be pretty wide.
Yeah, if Pumita had more pop, I would pick a late stoppage, but he doesn't. But if he just lays it on thick, no Sean Combs, then maybe he could stop him. But a Fernando Martinez win and the distance is something I would look at, Billy. Is there anything there for Fernando Martinez?
He's minus 330, no over-under yet.
So that's for Pumita Martinez, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes again, I'm not saying it's this time. Sometimes there's that last stand that a guy has.
Yeah.
And Kaz Ioka was really good at one point and can fight and absolutely has heart.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a possibility of that and it turns into a good fight? It still might be.
Could be.
Yeah, I think it's a lopsided victory for Fernando Martinez. And like I said, if he had some crack, I might even pick a stoppage, but he doesn't really. Is he going to dye his hair crazy color, B?
Ioka or Pumita?
Pumita.
Yeah, Pumita does
like braids and a pink cut. Yeah, I wish that was the line, Billy. What color hair? And is he going to have?
We have to make these things interesting.
We do. There's probably
the Oscars are now on DraftKings or whatever the next.
There's probably, for what it's worth, some good fights on that undercard from Tokyo too.
Yeah. It's not listed on. I could look. Let me see. I just had BoxRec up, so
yeah. This Billy Betts.
Not really, actually, Vin.
No. Okay.
No, I'm looking. A number 28 ranked guy versus 135th ranked guy. Wow. So yeah,
this Billy Betts is getting pulled in two different directions this weekend with the Cacace Leigh Wood fight. Does he want what is Cacace's
that could be brutal
again?
That one.
What's his nickname again? The Apache. The Apache versus Leigh-Thal. Come on, Billy. You know what to do.
Come on, B.
I haven't gone against the tarot yet.
Come on, but
but yeah, I mean, it's just, come on, B. Con.
How about Bill Yuns?
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's a fucking bar.
YUNZ is your last
name. Yes, I'm changing my Instagram actually.
Just Bill every Yuns. Every week the new dumb name we come up with. That's what it's changed to. Brendo, do we have mail this
Oh,
week?
I think that your kids could be the young yuns.
The young yuns. Right now,
The
they're Dem Bulls. They're tag team.
Damn Bulls.
Dem Bulls.
Yo,
And
dad.
I gave the baby is the manager, and I gave her an ill name. Do you like her name, Billy? Like, yeah, I'm gonna say the kid's name on the air. You know.
I forget what you said. You have to remind me.
Oh, all right.
You could say it.
I said Art and the Arson.
Ah, beautiful.
Oh, I
She
like it.
manages Dem Bulls.
Damn Bulls. They got
She's the string puller. She's the master of puppets, B, when they're acting misbehaving.
That's how she's got to be.
Right.
Third kid.
Right.
Third. You're a third kid, so
yeah, but the age difference was too big.
But still, you're a third kid.
Nah, it's not true. It doesn't apply. It only applies when they're close.
Okay.
I was like a change of life baby. No one was bothering me. I wasn't bothering them.
I'm gonna do my own thing.
Yeah,
I'll see
I had
you
no
later.
choice. What are they gonna take me out drinking in the? What are they,
I don't know. I just see
I'm four and I'll drink.
I just see Vinny on his little scooter, just taking off. Like, I'm out.
Yeah.
See you guys later.
They were basically abusive.
Yeah. We'll see you later.
Yeah.
Go get a cheesesteak.
Yeah, sure.
Be back. Never. This place sucks.
So we have mail.
We do have mail. Regarding Eubank Ben, Tommy Haslam writes us. What's up, Tommy?
What's up, Tommy?
He says, hi. Love the show. I always, and he has asterisks next to it, learn something. And I
says learning from two idiots.
Yeah, he says important to me. Regarding Eubank Ben, the fight was obviously very big over here in the UK in terms of the scoring and the majority opinion from what I could see. There is no getting away from the fact that Eubank Jr. became a whole load more popular for taking this fight. He wasn't particularly well liked before, but public opinion shifted when Ben did what he did at the first attempt.
Okay.
We all know scoring is chaotic in boxing, but I don't think Ben was ever going to get a favorable decision if it was tight like it was.
I agree.
You made reference to how it was over here. Was this fight good versus evil? There was 100% an element of that.
I thought so.
I have no clue of what value I'm adding by sending this, but I'm giving you a UK perspective on how things played out.
You're absolutely giving us value.
Absolutely.
Thank you, bro. I thought I was onto something, but you saying, nah, it was a little bit good versus evil.
A little bit. He says, keep up the good work, gents. Tom Haslam, P.S. The new album is first class, Vinny.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate
a lot of positive feedback with this new record. What's it called again? Where do we get it? Real quick.
God Send Vengeance, Vinny Paz, streaming everywhere. If you're into physical product, jmtstore.com. CD, vinyl variants, gear, knock them out the box shirts, all of that. Thank you for everyone's kind words and their support. There's been a certain buzz surrounding this album that we haven't felt in a little bit. You know, there's always the love, but there's been something different about this one. I think it has a lot to do with some moves that me, Billy, and Jan made that we haven't been making. Sometimes you get a little complacent at your job, and being that it's my job and Billy's job, and we said, what if we did this? What if we tried this? What if we did this? And we threw some curves, and they all seemed to work, and it seems like people got excited over it. So I appreciate all y'all.
I bet, man. It's awesome. Got a pretty long letter here, but I think it's relevant, so
okay,
you guys can just bear with me while I remedial read this. This is from Tommy in Roxborough. What up, Tommy? Another
what
Tommy.
Up, Tommy.
We got a lot of Tommies on here. You know,
Roxborough in Philly.
Is Roxborough?
It's like the real name of Manayunk, but Manayunk is to trick you to go in there.
Okay,
you know Manayunk well, you know.
I lived in both Manayunk and Roxborough.
Yes, you did.
Look at you. All right. So he says, "What up, guys? Huge fan of the show. My favorite boxing podcast by far. Thank you, man.
We appreciate that.
This is Vinny. The new record is fire. Zero gimmicks. all substance with great production and features.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate you.
I apologize. This is a bit long, so if you're pressed for time, I get it. This weekend gave me a lot to think about. It's your lucky day because we need to stretch this episode. So here we go. All right, guys, I'm going to dig in because I do think that this is very relevant.
Yeah, of course.
I have a few thoughts on Turkey. I don't think he's good for boxing long term. He's not someone who cut his teeth for decades in the business, nor did he grow up in a community where boxing is a major part of the culture. He doesn't have the eye for the sport that you need to be a good matchmaker and get behind the right fighters. If he did, he would understand that making 3 fight plans around guys like Wilder, Garcia, Haney was a horrible idea. The plans keep blowing up in his face because he fails to see these are B and C level fighters with A level social media clout. I believe he basically has what I'd call a hardcore casual level of boxing knowledge, and him running boxing is somewhat like giving the YouTube comment section $1 billion to run the show. Jesus. And I don't really disagree. But more importantly is the fact he doesn't have his finger on the pulse of American Western culture and doesn't understand where boxing stands within that broader context. Boxing is a blue-collar sport with a working-class ethos, and any effort to sell the sport has to be in touch with this. Turkey thinks you can just throw a bunch of money at these events, get celebrities in Hollywood movie trailers, and it will sell the sport. But all that shit is the complete opposite of why people love boxing, the opposite of what makes boxing cool. Boxing is less Hollywood and more hip-hop or punk rock. The authentic blood, sweat, and grit of boxing stands in direct contrast with the polished glamour of Hollywood. This is the entire appeal of professional boxing as entertainment. All of the Hollywood gimmicks Turkey plays for do not work to sell boxing because they misunderstand what boxing actually is. A clear example of this, as badass as the Game of Thrones-esque trailers to the Better Bivol fights were, you watch them and you don't even know it's an ad for a boxing match, let alone the biggest fight in the sport. However, when discussing with my non-boxing friends, you know what made them watch the fight? Me simply explaining, this is the biggest fight in the sport between 2 Hall of Famers, one absolute destroyer with 100% KO rate, and the other an extremely athletic defensive wizard who beat Canelo easily. It's a must-watch. That messaging sold the fight to a couple of non-boxing sports fans who ended up catching the fight on their own and also watching the rematch. Turkey doesn't get it. Lots more to say on this, but I'll leave it at that. Tommy in Roxborough.
Look, Tommy, I agree with a lot of what you said. You started with he's not good for boxing, and Brendan and I agree with each other that we don't know yet if he is.
I'm not ready to weigh in on that yet, but Tommy, if you've been listening for a while, I've been saying for a while, it is a rich kid playing with toys. So,
yeah,
again,
I said that as well. Is that what we're dealing with?
Right. So what I mean by that and what you could take it as is often, and there's a second part to that. Not only is he playing with toys, meaning these are human beings whose livelihoods are at stake, right? You could take it that way.
Of course.
It's also doesn't, to Tommy's point, he doesn't understand necessarily, I think he's learning, but weight classes, significance in the sport, and what the public really wants to see. You know what the public didn't want to see? The 3 fights that happened the other night. What they wanted to see was Teo versus the other 2 A-sides or a Ryan and Devin rematch.
I don't think he knows boxing. I think he's a fan. I think he loves it.
Yeah.
I don't think
he loves it for now.
I don't think I second what you said. I think, you know, if he was to say, I want to make Deontay Wilder versus Beterbiev, I'd be like, yeah, that's on brand. That doesn't shock me that he said that. Now, those people can be reined in. I'm sorry, B. What's the name of the guy who wrote us?
Tommy.
Sometimes it doesn't end bad if you have a guy to rein you in. and I don't like Dana White, but he would absolutely say, "Yo, Deontay Wilder can't fight better than that." Like,
right.
So it can. That's why I'm not willing to say.
Well, I actually think Dana is trying to do that a little bit in terms of
I do too. When they
announced TKO, Turkey said we're going to crush everybody. It's a fight league, and Dana White the next day was like, "It's not a fight league. We still want to work with the promoters."
He literally bore at it and was like, "We will crush you."
Yeah.
Like legit. And then we were like, whoa, 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 whoa.
And you and I think that came on the heels of the Better Be of Bivol card
and
underperforming.
Yep.
And him getting frustrated with, I made the greatest card of all time and still nobody watched it.
Yep.
Well, you had a Russian and a Dagestani guy as the headliners, which people should tune in. But you, as well as you and I know, as well as anybody else that follows the sport, it's a tribal sport rooted in nationalism. Ad nauseum,
we know it's a tribal sport, and on top of that, and maybe more importantly, a niche sport,
right?
With tribalism inside of an already niche sport.
Yeah,
so you have a niche.
Tribalistic nationalist sport.
Yes. And in 2025, no one gives a fuck about nationalism anymore until people fight.
Right.
Then whatever they are, they're on that. But normally they're not. Look, everyone hangs out with multicultural. Every time you see a crew of people, there's 3 black guys, 3 white boys, 3 Rican kids, couple Asian kids, an Arab kid. It's like the world. We're trying to get past all that.
Hopefully,
and on a small degree, we have, at least here. And then that all goes out the window in this fights.
When this boxing,
I mean,
right? So
he's getting slaughtered. I told you guys on the air, he's a bum, and not, it's like all non-Asians.
Right. One of the things I really took from this letter, a few things, but one of the things that I really took from this was how to sell a fight. And you don't need some of the stuff that they've been doing. Like, I don't understand, like, the cross promotion of calling the fight, meaning naming the fight the same name as the video game.
Right.
Like Fatal Fury 3. Like,
well, you brought up a really heavy point. Not only was it good, it was heavy. We shouldn't be using that word fatal when it comes to a sport where men die.
Where guys die, right. But with that said, I also think that sort of gets lost, like that gimmick, amongst... Are you gaining new fans calling it, naming it after these video games? And again, to Tommy in Roxborough's point, he sold this fight, he promoted this fight to his friends by just saying, "Hey man, the best is fighting the best." And people were like, "Oh, I'm interested in that." People that I'm friends with or that I know, same thing. They watched that fight for a $24.99 pay-per-view. And said, it was awesome. I saw the best fight the best. The card top to bottom was great.
Right.
I would love to see like some polling. Hey yo.
Oh no, Puff.
But on what? I wonder if there's a way to figure out what gets people jazzed up for a fight. Obviously, we know there's favorite fighters, right? Outside of that, though, meaning, like, do you just promote things as like the best are fighting the best? And where to stage fights? Obviously, if you're building someone, you want to fight them in or around their home city before you expand them. But, like, does the public get more hype for a fight in Vegas? Or a big famous arena like Madison Square Garden or Jerry World? Does that all help? Because we've talked about this in the past. Like, when there's a fight near someone's hometown, inexplicitly, they can't figure out why the TV ratings get higher. You know what I mean? Like,
right. What is the correlation?
What's the correlation? It doesn't matter. So nationwide, people will watch a kid from Philly who's fighting in Philly more than if that kid from Philly is fighting at MSG or Chicago or Jerry World.
Yeah, we don't know why.
We don't know why. No one knows why. But I think that, what Matchroom's doing with Jaron Ennis is we're letting the fights speak for themselves because Duran seems to have, he's not a guy who's going to cut a promo.
Right.
I think some of the stuff that Turkey's doing is the opposite of that and feels very forced. And again, the antics and the gimmicks only go so far if the quality of the product isn't there.
Right. You could have WWE-esque intros. You could have pyro. You can have this guy come out rapping with you. And then if it's Canelo Skull, the fight itself, it's all for naught.
Right. So
for what?
2 stinker cards this weekend. And correct me if I'm wrong, Canelo gets 87, or last weekend, excuse me. Canelo gets $87 million a fight.
That's what I saw. I mean, are we accurate? We'll have to ask people we know.
So,
but say B real quick. I'm sorry to cut you off, but then again, isn't Turkey going to be partially responsible for Inoue MJ next, which is a great fight and should be.
Yeah, because it's Riyadh season.
Riyadh season. He had a Riyadh season shorts on or something.
Yeah, he's a little patch.
Najunto Nakatani potential fight, which is
right.
Guys, that's a monster fight, no pun intended, not for just regular people, but that is a high level top two guys both in the KEOTB pound for pound. That rarely happens.
That's a great direction you take it in, because without Turkey and Riyadh season, and now
the MJ fight does not get made. I'm telling you right now, without him.
Better BF Bivol doesn't get made twice.
No.
Canelo Crawford, well, we don't love that one, or starting to. We're sort of like, it's worn on us.
What we're doing is we're trying to answer you and checking boxes in the pros and checking boxes in the cons, and we don't know as much as you don't know. In that, is he good? And I'll tell you why, bro, Tommy, because we can name a lot of good things that he's done, and I'm not willing to just write you off, but no, I don't think he has a high boxing IQ. I don't think he understands nuance in the ring. I think when someone gets concussed, he cheers the way that if you watch the fight with like your family that don't know. I think he's that kind of fan.
Well, also like not understanding bringing Martin Bacoli and then trying to turn him around a couple months later might not be the best idea.
Right. But Brendan, do you think that Turki Al-Sheikh knows who Mike McCallum is? I think he has no idea who he is.
No, and his point of reference, or the point that one of the things Tommy said in here about stars and stuff like that, he's very starstruck, meaning like he wants all like the guys he grew up watching on television or hearing about or reading about. He wants to like be friends with them, and I believe he thinks that will, if Shaq is at the fight, it'll sell more pay-per-views.
Right. Well, in wrestling, Brendan, they call it being a money mark.
Money mark. Okay.
Like me and you love wrestling so much that we'll put a card together and pay these older dudes that we grew up. You know what I mean? Like, you love Mr. Perfect. Say he was still alive. We'd give him $10K, but his rate's $1,000. But we'll do it just for him to come
make sure he's there
in Philly or New York. You know what I mean? It's like is he that? Brandon has made a lot of points towards it. Does he like famous people? Look, man, I will say this in defense of him. Guys, Tommy from Roxborough, growing up over there is very different, guys, culturally speaking. It's very difficult.
Right.
When it comes to being young and being into Western shit.
Right.
It's not. I'm not going to say it's not available to you, but it's tricky. It's not accepted. It's changing a little bit now, but I'm talking when he was growing up. What is he, in his 40s?
He's 43.
When he was in his teens, bro, it was a different world in Saudi, bro. Right. It was getting your hands on music, getting your hands on films, being into anything Western. His parents probably said, no, I don't want you watching. But it's very different. So you can't put the same type of blame on someone like that you could on me or B. If we were running it and going, oh, Vinny or B or Money Marks on KEOTB, they'll pay someone to come on their show. It's like, yo, we can just walk up to people our whole lives if we wanted to. B's friends with 2 former champions. I'm friends with people. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's like, it's very different. So we got to give him some grace.
The jury is out on whether or not this will work. I think we're in agreement that the TKO stuff with the reported wages likely won't work for top level guys, at least right away. Yeah, there's questionable decisions made, lots of money spent. And again, we always talk about like eventually you're going to stop throwing good money at bad.
Yeah.
And we'll see if boxing burns this guy out because it burns everybody else out. You know,
well, I
don't mean money wise. I mean being exhausted and
ripping your hair out
and ego wise. You know, like, oh, such and such got hurt. He's not fighting. This guy fell off the card. That guy fell off the card. This shit happens, and it ain't for the, it's
not for the faint of heart. It's very similar to the music industry, film, TV.
Entertainment.
Brendan and I are in both. B would work shifts that you wouldn't even believe because something had to get done for the Olympics, and you don't think that. You don't think I'm going to work 18 hours straight to do what I love. And then you go, do I even love this? It's what touring did to me. It made me not love this thing that I love. So what do? You take out that cancer. And in certain situations, you can't. So am I ready to say he is or he is not good for the sport? I'm not there yet with it.
I'm not there yet either. Like I said, I can give some examples of things that are great for the sport and things that we've seen, and we championed it on this show. I think we were all a little put off by the TKO announcement. We were happy that promoters were working with one another, but we also said this sort of pivot on Turkey's part may, and the threat, the enemy of the enemy is my friend kind of thing, will get the promoters to work together anyway. So as the consumer, we'll get what we want anyhow. And it doesn't look like the guys we want to see will sign for the wages that they're paying.
Yeah.
Or reportedly paying, allegedly paying.
Yeah, and another thing is we personally know someone who is very close to Turki Al-Sheikh, and they have nothing but glowing things to say about him. And I want to make sure that's very clear. And we don't have to say that on this show. We don't work for them or TKO or Riyadh Season. And our guy stands 10 toes down. Like, no, this guy wants to do what's best. It doesn't mean he always will. But his heart and head are in the right place. It's just hard for me to be like, wait, a guy that's running the sport right now doesn't know who Milton McCrory is. That's just wild to me. But that's me and you are sickos. We are sickos. We're sickos.
Well, but you know what though? But if you're new to this, it's
the same way when we hear a younger, not necessarily young, a younger rapper, and you're like, you're not familiar with G-Raps? Like, how is that? How do you do what you do when you never heard Wanted Dead or Alive? Or how can you do what you do and you don't know the records you talk about every day, our run of where we came from, the greatest era of rap? You know what I mean? Like, how do you not know that? How is it not part of your fabric? And well, if the guy's good, the guy's good. So maybe this guy doesn't know Mike McCallum, and he proves me, you, Tommy from Roxborough, everyone wrong right now. But again, I repeat, I think B and I are in the same boat of we're not ready to say like, no, he's not good for the sport yet. He's made moves. We were like, that's dope. And he's made moves where we're like, what were you thinking? So it's
sort of like preliminary announcements. Like, we're going to fight on Alcatraz. We're going to do this.
Right. And now like, this Trump is like saying he's going to open Alcatraz. So like, what, you announced that, but the president, now this maniac wants to reopen that for.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. The most expensive
failed project
in history that also you want to turn this revenue machine, because Alcatraz is like the most visited site in the country.
Absolutely. It's
into a taxpayer's
now we're paying for it. Well, they're paying us. Get out of here. Take a walk.
It makes money on one hand,
and we pay money on the other hand, because Don the Con sees someone that he's gonna fucking strong.
It's going to be great. It's going to be, we're going to lock everybody up there, and we'll put them there. And some of these people here right on this table will help with that.
I'm a big fan of your Trump.
Thank you.
Fan.
All right. we got nothing else tonight, guys.
All right.
You can find me at I_know_that_kid on IG, at the Killer B24 on Twitter. Write us at kotbboxing@gmail.com. Find us on IG at KOTBboxing and at KOTB podcast on the YouTubes.
Me. It's all about me. JMTstore.com. My new record, God Sent Vengeance, is out now. Go there for, the physical products, merch, KEOTB shirts, etc., JMTstore.com. If you stream it, it's everywhere. Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube, whatever. Do your thing. Thank you for all the kind words regarding the album. Thank you for guys who wrote in to talk boxing with us and gave me a shout on the new music. At Box Cutter Pazzi on Instagram, at Vinnie_Paz. Some of y'all be talking crazy on there about boxing, so settle down. If I'm down, if you want to have a civil, intelligent discussion. If you think Tank is the GOAT, please don't bother me. And I think that is it. Is that it?
Well, you go check out Billy. Run that Billy Bindle Sticks.
It's Billy_Bindle Sticks. He might be changing the name, not the actual at, but he might be changing the name on there. To Bill Yuns until we come up with a new John, and he'll just rotate them out. And he'll be posting his bets on there, which we will repost.
Yeah.
So go follow this sick animal. Follow B. Follow me on there. We'll talk a little boxing, and we'll see you guys next week. Say goodnight, Billy.
Good night, Billy Yuns.
Knock him out the box.